All right. Thank you very much. Whoo-wee! Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. T minus 60 seconds. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a big one for you tonight? Welcome to Geezy Truth News Special Jubilee tonight. All right, it's 6 o'clock. It is November 11th, 2016. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Everybody, my listeners, thank you, my audio engineers. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me tell you. I've got plenty of work to do. But this show is going to be something. Thank you very much, everybody. Callers, call in. Now let me hear something. My audio engineers. That's right. Okay, well, I'm getting a quick message from my audio engineers. They're going to say that there just may be some technical difficulties on tonight's show. Just a little shout out. Thank you very much. All right. Everybody who's tuning in, please call tonight. We got lots to talk about. There's, let me just tell you, a lot of stuff. And so, you know, Donnie Boy won. Hoo-wee! I mean, that is just something. Donnie Boy won. So, it's really remarkable. Even through all the rigging and the scamming and the corruption and the deceit, Donnie Boy still pulled it through somehow. Somehow bypassed the fraudulent voting machines. Because that was the biggest thing. That was really the biggest obstacle. When it comes push to shove, the biggest thing was the voting machines. And nobody ever wanted to talk about it. Except for independent news media. And we finally, you know, there's a lot of people who talked about it. And it's about time. Alright, well, thank you very much. Thank you. That was the good old audio engineers. Thank you very much. So, as I was saying, welcome to Geezy Truth News. And, you know, Donnie Boy won. We got a lot of things to talk about. It's not over, obviously, says Budesta. And not done yet. Not done yet. Not done yet. I think that's what he said. So, who wants to call in? So, how's the thing? The biggest thing was that, again, like I said, the voting machines. And, Hillary is crazy. She did not even show up. You know? Not even gave a little phone call for Donnie Boy. Said okay. But, as Budesta said, not done yet. So, I mean, we'll see officially, December 12th. Well, we'll see it January 20th. But, there's a, as you all know, the Electoral College and the popular vote. And, 270. Donnie Boy got to 270 first. And the good old Jubilee special happened. It was nice. You know, Obama was very respectful and brought him over and showed the White House and all that. So here's the deal. So Donnie won 270 of the Electoral College, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? So that's how he officially won. But now they're trying to do a bunch of backlash, and not to mention the riots. A lot of riots and protests. And that's pretty dangerous. It's very dangerous. And illegal. And I don't know if they're letting him do it or what. You know, I've been honestly out of the loop. I've been partying for the past, it's all been just having a good time, celebrating a victory, and now it's time to get back to basics. Because here's the thing about all that. Because the thing is that just because Donnie Boy won, don't mean it over. Now that we got Donnie Boy in, we have a lot to work. We have a lot of work to do, because he ain't gonna be able to do it alone. There's a lot of Republicans, Democrats. They're all a bunch of schmucks, you know. Yeah, I'm sure maybe there's like, I don't even know if I want to say that there might be a good couple. I mean, I'm sure there is. I mean, I want to give the benefit of the doubt, but it's all just a sleazy game, you know. And Donnie Boy, the first time in American history, became the POTUS without any political career or military career. So that's a first for America. So here we go. A lot of people are saying he'll be a one-term president. I don't know. Yeah, it's too early to say. We'll see. I mean, I truly do believe that he loves his country, so I would like to think he'll do great and do 2 terms and, you know, recover a lot and get rid of the deficit and all that. And we'll see about him prosecuting people, because that would be the good thing, is prosecuting, you know, the bad guys, the people that have been destroying this country for so many years. No, I mean, so yeah. What's the next? I mean, it was something. All right, so it's the main bippity bop that now they're gonna try to steal it for Hillary, because they're getting so upset about it, and it's so hard to believe. In my opinion, it's hard to believe that anybody would care or be on her side. I mean, you'd have to be pretty. You just gotta, you know, read and look into things yourself. A lot of these people are just relying on CNN and all that other crap, and they lost their credibility a long time ago, obviously. And they still seem to do their thing. They're still trying. I'll have to take a look. So, we'll see how all that goes. There's a lot of evidence stacked against her. I don't know why they would even do that. Oh, the riots caused, I heard, actual deaths. And that is just crazy. I mean, these protesters are shooting and killing the other. They're shooting other people. These Hillary protesters or whatever have killed like 3 people, if not more. I mean, that is just crazy. And it just shows there's just something real going fishy real quick. So, and what they're gonna do, there's many things. I mean, obviously there's a lot of options and a lot of plausible things that could happen. But I mean, I think we should just give the benefit of the doubt, because I think it's just it's a mute point to talk about things that could go wrong or things that, are speculative. It's important to address things that are real and that are there. Like, apparently, what's up with, Hillary's emails or whatever? Like, so, like, Satanism? There's, like, satanic stuff on there? I mean, that don't make no sense. So, but hey, you know what? Hopefully none of it matters. Hopefully Donnie Boy does it, and hope prosecutes to the fullest extent. And who knows? We'll see. Bottom line is that this is a victory, ladies and gentlemen. I want people to understand that this is a victory for the American people, because it was so stacked against us, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I think they realized that if it did, like, if they would rig it, it'd be too obvious or something, and I think they realized that. And so, that's my 2 cents on all that. And it's very interesting, Let's see some of the stuff over here that's coming up. I mean, like what? Trump victory provides tall wind for anti-establishment votes across Europe. In Italy's referendum, 52.4% of voters planning to vote no. Whoa. And that's a very good point, because that's what I wanted to bring up, because what's happening, this hopefully reflects and boosts, and obviously in the article it says right here that in 52.4%. And they're always hacking up numbers, so I mean, who knows? But the point of the story here is that hopefully Europe will take a look at this and realize that they still have a shot, because it seems like they're a bit more oppressed. They've been oppressed for a while, and the line, you cross the line, and then that's what happens. So there will be more developments in Europe. I'm glad nothing happened at the, because there's a lot of talk that there's stuff that was going to happen. during the election. So that's good. But it's pretty ridiculous how much people are not happy about the whole thing. It seems like a lot of people are pretty disappointed in the results, which is a bit ridiculous. Again, it's like, I don't know how that makes any sense. But bottom line is, it's very good. The Jubilee Special. It's remarkable. Here we are at the Jubilee Special. Victory has risen. Plenty more things to do. Talking about stepping forward. Stepping forward is going to be a task by all of us. And you know, you'll just have to in the next couple years, we'll have to keep presenting facts to people who are not, aware of the situation, what's going on. I mean, it's kind of hard to not understand. It's like a brick in your face. And again, if some people call and touch base on that's always a good thing. I'm not very understanding about all that, but bottom line is that people need to care more about the country because it's at a critical state, and do whatever you can, from trying to go into politics or making a show or just talking, communicating to friends and family and everybody else. Do what you can. And so one of the first steps, in my opinion, would definitely be to review all the people and cut management a lot, because that's not needed. That's just it's just a ploy. And also, because of the voting, I mean, you guys, I really just can't believe that we won. It was like 99-1. Did you see the polls like an hour before the election or whatever? Like, it was like the percentages were like 90%, chance of a Hillary winner, 89% chance of Hillary winning. And then in a drop of a hat, because everybody wanted that to happen. And so, the Jubilee Special, victory tastes great. Won against the bad guys, really crazy. Still not over, like Budesta said. Might happen. They're gonna try to because there's around December 12th, I believe, they have a recount of the Electoral College, and that they're gonna find out. Obviously, they're going to try to put more Hillary votes in, and they're going to try their best to try to get Hillary to win. So that's going to be December 12th. And then, so that's really something. My prediction, I don't think it would be happening for them to. I mean, if they would try to pull that, I don't know, it'd be pretty crazy. It really would be. don't think it would happen because just like the election, I think it'd be just the same with the election. They would just be like, it'd be too obvious, so they wouldn't do it. But who knows? You never know with these people, right? You know, if like what's the next step? What's the next few steps? What's a smart idea to do? Let's take a look at silver. I would suggest people to, get some physicality, some metals physicals. Because that's probably going to go up. And the Dow Jones, the stock market is doing great. So yeah. But I still think it's going to crash. Especially when they raise the interest rates. But we'll see about all that. You know the people that said that they're going to leave? I hope they do. Because they're obviously just not getting it. I mean, if you want to leave your own country, fine. It's very interesting. I'm looking at gold is $12.27 and silver is $17.47. It's pretty interesting. Very, very interesting. What is Donny Boy gonna do next? It says DC Leaks just dropped emails from a lot of people, including Uma and Podesta. You want to see it? Yeah, it's just all these little things, Black Lives Matter activists. George Soros sued over slain Dallas cop. Trump's victory. People are saying, changing a different tune. They're singing a different tune. Because now this is serious. This ain't no joke. So I think people need to take this more seriously. So yeah. Oh, here we go. We're getting a caller. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Is the show on?
Hey, yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Yes, Dante, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going, Mario?
Oh, it's going great.
Good to hear, sir. I've been doing a lot of spiritual exploration these last 2 days.
What's that?
I've been doing a lot of spiritual exploration these last 2 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. Those moo-moos have been treating me good.
Oh, what? Well, okay then. Well then, how are you doing? What do you think about? We're just talking about the election, and Donny Boy's winning.
I have mixed emotions about the election. Honestly, I'm kind of pessimistic about the whole Mexican thing. I've got a lot of Hispanic friends, but jobs will open up. Jobs are going to open up. It'll be good. As far as the whole Obamacare things, I've been meaning to get a job and get good insurance anyways. Fuck it.
So what do you think about Obamacare?
I don't know. I'm pessimistic about the Mexicans getting deported and about, because I got a lot of Mexican friends, and I'm pretty pessimistic about Obamacare being abolished, but at the same time, I mean, these clinics are filling up with people who can't pull their own weight, so it's a good thing, too.
Yeah. Well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's...
Have you read his 100-day plan? I didn't get around to it, but NPR just released it.
What's that?
Have you read Donald Trump's 100-day plan for November? And he's got a 100-day plan coming up these next 3 months that he's gonna get a lot of shit done on his fucking cabinet. Him and his cabinet members are gonna get a lot of stuff taken care of. Allegedly, they got 100 things they're trying to do in this next 100 days, and I haven't read up on it yet, but it was pretty interesting.
Huh, okay. No, I haven't taken a look at it, so that definitely sounds great. That's very interesting.
I've got something to say about the heroin epidemic. I think it's ridiculous. Okay, so I went into outpatient today, yeah? I went in, I got started, I got enrolled and everything. I was talking to my counselor, I was high on mushrooms. I think that was more spiritual progress and more progress in I've had a problem with alcohol and whatever in the past, and I feel like I got a lot more done today, being honest, high on mushrooms, than I have in my entire life in jail detox and AA. And I think anyone who's questioning their own ability to control themselves around drugs and alcohol should give it a whack, but don't tell the lady that you're on mushrooms.
Huh. Hold on, just 1 second, Dante. It looks like Arturo will be merging on the line. Just 1 second. Hello, Arturo.
Hey, am I on the air?
Welcome on the show. Yes, Dante is talking about the heroin epidemic right now.
Long story short, though, they didn't want me smoking weed, but I told them that I had my wisdom teeth removed recently, and I had a prescription for opioids, and my UA came up because they watch. My UA came up dirty for opioids, but my counselor, she was really upset about the weed thing. Okay, not really, but she explained to me that it's illegal when you're on probation to smoke, and I didn't realize that. And then I just think it's ridiculous.
Like therapy hotline? I thought we were talking politics here.
This is politics, Petrushkin.
Well, what's the politics?
The politics is, check this. They're trying to kill off everyone who has any problems with opioids. You know how I know this? Because she said straight up, hey, if you can fax your prescription over, it's fine if you have that in your system.
You're trying to kill off anybody that has, what, opioids?
Yeah, anyone who has a dependency on opiates.
But, dude,
they're about to change the fucking methadone program over. Yeah, that's why they're trying to change the methadone program over to heroin. They're just gonna give these people who are going seeking treatment just a real deal and expect them to go do it in the safety of their own home and overdose and die.
Methadone is deadly too.
Dude, I know this is Petrushkin.
What? So what's the question? I don't. So, but the bottom line is in order you have to go from the top down. So here's the thing. Here's my 2 cents: is that people try to work on it from the bottom up, and it doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't work that way. You need to change policies.
Method.
Huh?
What is? Well, basically, what you have to do is you have to look at what's the pharmaceutical company doing? You know, what are they doing? They're trying to treat it as little as possible. They're trying to prescribe as few people as possible opiates, and when people are in legitimate pain post-surgery, you know, they may feel motivated to go on and get it in their own way. All right? Now, this might not be as eloquent as, you know, as I intended to be in my head, because, like I said, I just came down off Moo Moo's like half an hour ago.
Hey, Dante. Listen.
Sorry.
Pot and pussy for life. That's the only drugs you need.
Dude, they won't let me. I mean, pussy's fine, obviously.
Hold on, guys. I want to make my point that
I'll be 30
you gotta.
before I can smoke weed legally.
I understand. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. I want to say that I understand that there's a heroin epidemic. There's a drug epidemic. And yes, one of the reasons why is because they don't pay attention to it. But the only way that you're going to fix that problem is from changing the laws from the top to bottom. You're going to have to address those issues and have to change the way it works.
I agree with you there. I actually believe that
about legal heroin.
The novelty associated with going and scoring, if there wasn't a huge underground to it, I feel like if it was like recreational marijuana and you could just get it everywhere, a lot of people would say, hey, you know, it's not that big of a deal. People would take the initiative to quit.
You're crazy, man. You're fucking crazy.
No, I agree with Dante, honestly.
No, dude, heroin it's not like pot, man. Heroin's physically addictive.
Okay.
So you can't just have legal heroin, dude. People are gonna be overdosing left and right.
Hold on. Okay, are you back on the air?
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, I mean, the thing...
You're fucking crazy.
Dude, you're the one that's advocating for legal heroin.
Hold on, I agree with Dante's point.
Because the war on drugs is fucking completely retarded and it's a failure.
Yeah, no, the war on drugs is, I agree with you. The war on drugs is stupid. But legal heroin, people would be overdosing left and right.
All drugs.
Well, that's their choice to make. That's their decision.
No, it's not. A lot of people that are addicted to heroin, they fucking hate it, dude. And their lives
suck. Of course they hate it. Of course they hate it. Of course their lives suck because of it. The vice is its punishment in and of itself. For people to be going to prison with violent offenders and learning crime in the jails, coming back on the streets, using that knowledge to... It's the exact same topic. What do you mean that's off topic? It's the exact same topic.
You're talking about punishing
it's an extension of what I'm saying.
You're talking about punishing people for doing heroin, something that they're...
That's the war on drugs.
That's
okay, listen. It's not different. You know why? Because, listen, okay, without an illicit substance that's against the law, there's no way to fucking put a war against it. There's no reason to incarcerate anyone because there's nothing wrong with it. And if people overdose, that's fine. Do you know why? Because those people are fucking stupid. If it was all going to be state regulated, it would all be the same quality. There's no reason why anyone should overdose. If you do 0.10 of a gram, then it's always the same quality everywhere you go, at any store you would go. It's not like you're going from one dealer to the next not knowing what you're getting every time. The fucking...
That makes no difference. People overdose on fucking Vicodin all the time, and they know exactly what they're getting. It's because they're addicted to it. They go through withdrawals. They take more. They get a tolerance, and then eventually they die from an overdose. People that are addicted to heroin can't just say, oh, you know, it's Friday. I don't feel like doing my heroin today. I'll push it until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday when I'm in the mood. Unfortunately, that's how it works with pot, you know? You can hold off on pot.
That's how it works. It's all about willpower, man. It's all about willpower.
Well, why don't you tell that to the thousands of people that have been, that have lost their lives to heroin? Why don't you tell that to their friends and...
Because they're fucking dead.
I said their friends and family. You know,
okay.
Why don't you
I'll tell them. Yeah, I'll tell them.
That are addicted to heroin and tell them, oh, it's just willpower. If it was just as simple as willpower...
I would fucking know. What are you talking about? How do you know? How the fuck would you know? Do you have first-hand experience with this?
Hold on. The thing is that...
No, I don't have first-hand experience with it, but you're the people, I know a lot of people that have been affected by heroin, and it's not just willpower.
Okay.
You're physically addicted.
So you're going to acknowledge that it's not just willpower, but you suggest you ostracize people for using? Is that what it is?
I'm not saying ostracize anybody. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth. But if you're so familiar with heroin, you must know what being dope sick is like.
Oh, I'm familiar with that sensation, yeah.
So you're saying that's just willpower?
No, it's a physical addiction, but,
exactly.
Check this out, okay?
It's more than just willpower. You can't, people die
Listen to this.
just dope sick.
Listen to this, okay? So, a friend of mine, we'll just say a friend of mine, last year got into injecting heroin and doing massive amounts of methadone every fucking day for about, say, a month. And he had seen people around him in his life doing the exact same thing. And he, in and of himself, quit doing methadone, quit using needles altogether for about, say, a month. And yeah, it is an addiction thing, okay? But if you're going to tell me that that's not willpower right there, okay, someone who's severely addicted saying, I'm gonna go through this, I'm gonna be dope sick, just so I don't have to inject heroin anymore and worry about overdosing and dying.
Okay, well that's one person out of how many people do you think can do that?
Hold on, you guys are pointing over nothing.
I don't know. We're not talking about.
The bottom line is that there is no point.
You're saying it's just a question of willpower, like if anybody can do it. If willpower was just so easy.
If you have a strong mind, you could.
Yeah, and most people, sorry to let you know, especially in this day and age, don't have that strong of a mind. We live in an era where we want everything for free, we want everything instant, and we're entitled
instantaneous.
to everything.
Yep.
And so you're just saying that, oh, it's just willpower, so we should just make heroin legal.
Okay, check this out. It's maybe 55-60% willpower, okay? The decisions that you make to begin with are your decisions. You need to be able to take responsibility for whatever's going on in your life at any given point and say, I can correct this. I don't care how much it sucks. I don't care how sick I'm going to be. I don't care if I have a heart attack and die because I'm going cold turkey off of needles. 60% is willpower, just about.
Yeah.
The bottom line is
you reach a point of no return, and
the bottom line is
I'm just gonna stop. It doesn't work like that. I mean, with pot, you don't get physically addicted, so I understand why that's illegal. With heroin, cocaine, crack, whatever you want to call it, with those hard drugs, if you're
taking crime off the street by legalizing it,
you're enabling people. What you're doing
is not about enabling.
No, because you're ruining people's lives by getting them addicted to these drugs. That's why people have so much.
Okay, that happens every day with Xanax, antidepressants, everything.
Exactly. That's why people have. That's legal, and that's why there's such a big problem with the pharmaceutical companies. And now you're suggesting, oh, well, we should make even more drugs legal when we can't even solve our own fucking problems with the pharmaceutical companies, and people are dying off of that.
You know why? Do you know why, though? Do you know what the underlying cause that makes me say that is? Crime, okay? Death and suffering all over the fucking world just to get something into the United States. If it was legal and tax-free and the CIA would divulge some of their staff...
Tax-free, that's two words that don't fit in the same sentence, my friend. Legal, tax-free.
Well, look at the weed stores. They had it figured out to where you can still get a $10. I voted against them too, okay? But fucking, that's all hindsight is 2020. I wish there was still medical stores so you could get a decent fucking deal.
No, I voted against it, not for it.
Yeah, I voted against it too. I would have been fine with medical stores. Medical was fine. That wasn't the issue.
So why would you...
Why would I want everything else to be legal instead?
Yeah.
Because the war on drugs is pointless, and that's why you want to legalize it, because it doesn't work.
I love it.
Look, okay, tell me this. Okay, Dante, you must have really strong willpower, so I'm gonna, maybe you won't be able to answer this question. Would you rather live, would you rather be imprisoned to a drug and live on the street, or would you rather be clean and live in prison?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'd rather have the first.
You'd rather be a slave to a drug and live
Oh,
in
yeah.
the street.
Any day. Any day.
Either way.
Even if I'm a slave to the drug, I can enjoy fresh air. I don't have to worry about getting my shit pushed in by a fucking large black man because I've never seen the end of my own fucking street.
You'll be sucking cock.
Well,
so you can
none
get
of
some money.
this is all just ridiculous. I'm gonna go ahead and just put you guys down because that is just ridiculous. None of that means anything. Their their points on addressing the war on drugs is that we've spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on this, and it has gotten us nowhere. And that's the bottom line there. It's nothing complicated. Just spend a lot of money. It hasn't done anything, and it's just devastated lives, and it hasn't done anything, and all it has done is just suck the American people out of their tax dollars. And there's a lot of programs that do that. And that's what I was talking at the beginning of the show, to change and to start improving and making America great again. Because right now we have a bunch of problems that we don't need, and we need to repeal all this to get a somewhat, get at least somewhat back to balanced, and then go from there. I mean, let's see.
They don't. Okay, well they do. Already hundreds
I
of
said they do.
Okay,
That's what I said.
Hundreds and thousands of people do it, and our system can tolerate that. Now imagine if we made this legal and enabled even more people. Then you think the system could handle an additional another million people doing that, or I don't know what the number is, but it
would lose its appeal to a lot of people.
Yeah, heroin.
A lot of people run to it because it's a subversive thing. A lot of people want to be part of an underground, and then they become sucked in and become actual addicts and can't get out of that, And yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, why would I want that to be readily available? Well, because we're all humans, we have free will, and if you don't pick it up in the first place, you're not going to have a problem. So I would just leave it alone if it's not your thing.
Hold on, can I pause you guys there? I just want to say that, I'm pretty sure I know what you guys were talking about, but I just want to say that all you have to do is, really, the problem, one of the main problems is that you need to bring, what's it called, the recovery, the rehabs. You need to make those way more available, way more efficient, and that's really one of the underlying problems, in my opinion.
That is true as fuck. You know how many heroin addicts?
Why are people doing heroin in the first place?
I'm having a blog.
Heroin in the first place.
Because it's an epidemic and it's everywhere. They get handed. They're bringing. How do you think it's getting into the country? It's getting into the country. It's getting to our kids, and everybody's doing it.
Pain resulting.
So they say, "Oh, I just had a surgery, so I'm going to go find a heroin dealer because."
Well, like I said, if you knew firsthand, then you'd know. But I guess you don't, so you don't. I mean, you can talk as much as you want about it, You can tell me how to build a clock, but if you don't build clocks, you don't know. All right, and that's what I was saying. That's free will. That's willpower. If you don't want to, then you don't got to. If it's legal, it's the same fucking way.
Okay, so what intrigued you to start doing heroin, Dante? Just tell me.
You want to know? You want to know?
Yeah.
It was a pain medication thing. Okay, I stopped getting a prescription. I tried opium, but shortly after that, a couple friends of mine that got me the opium got me to pick up some heroin. I did the heroin, and ever since then, I've loved it.
You just proved my point. You became dependent on opioids. And then when you ran out of your legal supply, you turned to
that was my point too. If you want to rewind like 5 minutes, I'll tell you the exact thing. I told you the exact same thing.
Now you're saying, oh, because I'm addicted to heroin, now it should be legal because fuck the drug war. I should be able to take whatever drugs I want.
No, it's not a personal thing.
To support my heroin addiction, I'm going to steal shit from stores. shit, if you have to be stealing shit from sources, be supporting your heroin addiction, man, you got other problems to deal with.
Well, check this out, dude. If the war on drugs was abolished, then there'd be enough police fucking manpower to go stand outside of those stores and catch the stupid criminals. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Is this 20 questions?
You're saying that if the war on, they would be around to snatch the criminals. You think that police 24/7 are just looking for people with drugs? They're doing other things than just looking for people with drugs. They have special units.
Depends where you're at.
People. It depends on where you're at.
It depends on what's the big problem in the area. You know, obviously there's going to be homicide squads patrolling the same area that there's gang and vice squads. You know why? Because they all go hand in hand.
So I'm saying the police that are drug enforcement. The police that are drug enforcement, they're not going to be focusing on people robbing stores. They already have a different police force that's probably local cops that would get you for that.
They have loss prevention. It's actually a privatized thing.
Yeah, so why is it your right to take advantage of that just because you have loss prevention?
Why wouldn't it be? Check this out. These large chain stores are taking honest, fucking, hardworking human beings, fucking Americans' rights to go hunt and forage their own food. Okay? You have to be a slave to the system. You have to raise enough money to eat, and you have to figure it out on your fucking own.
So that justifies you to steal from people. Because
they're stealing from me, yes. They're stealing from all of us. I'm not upset. I'm just trying to tell you in terms that you understand.
So, okay, what if I don't like you? So I'm going to go to your house, steal your shit, because I don't like, the way you operate and, what you stand for. So,
I could go ahead and do that, but there's a risk you'll get your kneecap shot off.
No, there isn't.
Isn't there?
Nope.
No? There isn't?
No, there's not. So
I'm sure you know.
I guess I can just go ahead and do that. I think you probably have some insurance, don't you? So it doesn't matter.
I hope you have insurance, because if you want to do that, then you'll get your head busted with a lead pipe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't think that's going to happen.
And that's the risk you want to run. If that's the risk you want to run, if that's the risk you want, that's all I'm saying about the whole thing. People know there's a risk involved, but they're going to do it anyways. I'm kind of agreeing with you in some way, because, yeah, it's not always a matter of willpower. It's maybe 55-60% willpower if you want to be in a better spot than you are in this life. And if you have a strong enough mind, you can at least get yourself the first initial steps to recovery. You can get yourself a support group and at least, have some positive people in your life.
Well,
it's not always...
It sounds like to me, you don't really have the willpower to... I think you're probably...
What about you?
Well, I'm not addicted to heroin.
What are you drinking right now? You know how much alcohol kills a year?
Who said I was drinking? You just said I was drinking.
No, I asked if you were.
No, and I said, no, I'm not drinking right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you've become dependent.
So, what, do you want to call the kettle black or what?
I'm telling you what I'm calling it. You've submitted to your dependence. You're not as free as you say you are. And so you've pretty much just given up all hope and said, okay, well, you might as well make it legal because, you know what, I have nothing better to do.
No. I said you might as well make it legal because I don't want to see people dying over the shit that don't need to be dying. If people overdose on their own, that's fine. If people are fucking shooting each other over, a small parcel, that's not fine by me. Nobody wants that shit in their neighborhood. So you might as well have it on the street going to like Starbucks. You know why?
It'll reduce violence.
Shooting each other.
It reduces violence.
You're not okay with, but people dying on the streets from heroin, that's okay.
On their own accord, yeah, that's totally fine. Do you know why? Because it's thinning the herd. These weaker-minded people,
shoot somebody over heroin. Tell me that.
Why would somebody shoot someone over heroin?
Yeah.
Because they've decided that 40% sickness that dictates actions they make is more important than their 60% willpower.
Okay, so give me an.
You know why? Because it's the exact same thing you said. People want everything on demand. They want it now. They want it to be instant. You know, it's all instant gratification in this society, no matter what. If you look at your phone and it takes 2 minutes to load, you're fucking pissed, aren't you?
Well, tell me this. Give me an example of why somebody would get shot over a parcel of heroin.
Well, imagine coming up short. Imagine there's a lot of things that could happen. Imagine you get a front and someone pursues you over it. Imagine you're trying to run from the police and they see you have a parcel of heroin and they shoot you. There's a lot of reasons.
Well, so how would that be any different if it were legal? Because
how would that be any different if it was legal? Because there wouldn't be a market. There wouldn't be a black market, for one.
Sure there would. Maybe you can't afford it at the store, so maybe you will stick somebody up, get their money, so then you can go to the store and then buy it legally. Somebody still has a risk of getting shot. Just because it's illegal doesn't mean people won't get shot anymore over heroin.
That's actually an interesting point you make. I actually have to agree with that.
So,
I gotta agree with that one. That was good.
I'm glad that you're seeing through to that. Now, I'm not trying to, well...
Yeah, I know you're not trying to get in a pecker waving contest. It's all good.
All I'm trying to say is, okay, I understand, like, bud, okay? Bud's okay. Bud isn't something that's addictive. The worst it's going to do is you're going to eat a lot of munchies and you're going to...
Or you're going to get some with pesticides in it.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's just say there's probably the same shit in our food, okay? I wasn't even for legal weed, but the fact is, okay, weed's legal and doesn't harm anybody. But all I'm saying is, if you make heroin legal, you're just enabling. You're just enabling, and it's too hard.
I could see how you would think that.
Well, that's all I'm trying to say. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it'll reduce your problem. Now, I do agree with you that the drug war is fucked. But it
doesn't help anything.
The answer to the drug war isn't legalization, because even one reason for that is when it's legal,
it's a feasible option.
It's already making money off the drug war. The government will make just as much money off of legal drugs. So either way, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
The government,
but it's a feasible option. It's a solution. What do you suggest?
The solution is, I think, well, you got to figure out why are people turning to drugs in the first place and getting addicted in the first place. You know?
Yeah, which is a lot of what Geezy was saying. He was saying, essentially, what you got to do is make treatment more available. You have to treat the underlying causes.
Yeah, you do. You got to do prevention.
Exactly.
So I don't think legalized hard drugs would help in prevention. It would enable more use. Think of all these people that are trying pot for the...
You never know until you see it.
You know, people are coming to Seattle as tourists just to smoke bud because it's legal.
Well, you never know until you see it play out in society on a large scale. You know, after a couple of years, you know, if the death rates spike and it's totally not a good idea, you know, it's quite apparent that more people are dying.
Come on.
Or if it doesn't improve at all.
I know you're smarter than that. Weed doesn't kill people, and you know that, all right?
I wasn't talking about weed. I was talking about if you were to legalize every other substance, if there was a spike in death, if there was a spike in crime, then, you know, give it a year, give it a couple months, see what happens, and if it's not improving at all, if it doesn't go down from what it was before with everything illegal, which it might not, you might be right, you know.
Why would you take that chance? Do you know how much time and money goes into passing and then repealing legislation? And then do you know where that money is coming from? It's coming out of your paycheck.
Well, have you seen how Holland's been doing? I mean, this is a perfect example. Holland's had a free heroin program for probably about a decade now, and their crime and death rates have gone down significantly. They have clinics just like methadone clinics where you go in and the doctors get you well, put you back on the streets, and
How
It
do
doesn't
they
cost
get you
nothing.
well? How do they get you well if they supply you with heroin?
I guess you're not familiar with the terminology. To get you well is if you're dope sick.
And so they give you more heroin, so they just keep you addicted, and you're a prisoner to addiction.
I guess. I mean, if that's the way you want to look at it, but it's working out in Holland. It's working out in Holland.
Would you be a prisoner to the state, or would you rather be a prisoner to drug? Either way, you're a prisoner.
A prisoner to drugs, because being a prisoner to the state is fucking bullshit. You have no right to the human.
Well,
as long as you're a prisoner to drugs, you have the fucking ability. You can't say, let me out today. I'll be sick. I don't care anymore. I just don't want to be in prison anymore. But you can say, when you're on heroin, you can say, you know what? I don't like this anymore. I'm going to go get Suboxone or methadone.
But those are just drugs themselves. People are addicted.
They're just drugs themselves, yeah. But you know what? They're a means to an end. Not so much methadone. I agree with you on that. But Suboxone, it's a means to an end, okay? Just the fact of the matter is, prison, like I said, you can't opt out of prison. You can't say, oh, just let me have the shakes for a week. I'll get out of here just fine. Okay?
Well, you know what? I suggest you read the book Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Because in that book, here's a perfect example. The state gives people drugs to sedate themselves from being able to...
What, you mean like with LSD in the 60s?
No, I don't mean like LSD in the 60s. I mean like pharmaceuticals in the present moment.
Present day.
Try to they just sedate themselves with drugs, and they become, in essence, they're not useful anymore. They're compliant.
It's just like just like Karl Marx said, religion's the opiate of the masses. When that fails, you give them opiates. Once people start to question all the wish-washy fantasy in that big book, they got to have something tangible that they can hold, something that gives them a good feeling, without having to go to church on Sunday.
I'm just saying you're in prison either way. That's all I'm pretty much saying. And if the state is going to supply you with legal drugs, then you're still in prison. You know?
The only thing is, you don't become institutionalized from being a drug addict. You don't get raped by a large black man because you're addicted to drugs.
No,
you get raped by a large black man because you were stealing cars to support your habit.
This is a lot of the reason why people have a problem with drugs in the drug war, because when you're addicted to drugs, you become dependent on the state. I mean, that's why, because you're using all your money on drugs, you end up in public housing, you end up getting food stamps, all these public programs. Who are you depending on to live at that point? You're depending on the state.
Taxpayers.
Slave of the state. And then the state they play God. They can say, hey, if you don't do this,
they can take all that shit away any day, yep.
So either way, you're institutionalized.
I suppose.
You're institutionalized or you're sedated, or both. You know, people often take drugs to, escape the reality.
Escape reality of how shitty the world is, yes.
Exactly. So why don't you can take the blindfold off, be your own free mind, free will, and see the world for how it is, or you can sedate yourself to death, not question anything, and
Well, you always want to question things. You got to question authority. Respect
That's
should
what I'm
not
saying.
be given; it should be earned.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point of life, to always be questioning and the pursuit of knowledge. But if you're just going to sedate yourself, then you're not going to...
you're not participating in the pursuit of knowledge, yeah.
Exactly. So, but you're advocating for, the state to supply...
All I'm saying is, it seems to be working out in Holland, okay? If it doesn't work out in America, that's fucked up.
Europe is fucked. It's slowly crumbling, and people are starting to wake up.
Yeah.
People are starting to wake up in Europe. That's kind of what happened, how the Renaissance happened. The Dark Ages were fucked, and there was a few people that, the light turned on for them, and the Renaissance grew out of a dark period.
Yeah, like John the Baptist and a couple others.
So, sometimes I guess you have to go hit the rock bottom before you see the light, and that can be a long road.
Oh, it's shorter than some might think.
Yeah, well, I guess that's all relative. Now, let's turn it back over to Geezy, because we didn't want to steal his show. But it sounds like we're on the same page now.
Just about.
Really? All right.
Now, let's talk politics, because, okay, all three of us already agree the drug war is stupid, and it needs to be handled in a different way.
It's not working out the way it is.
But my point is, I'll leave my point, and you can say your point, but my point is legalizing all drugs is not a viable and, a good alternative to the drug war. I think it's just as bad, and there's something else we can do. That's my point. Now,
but what do you suggest the other method would be?
I suggest the other method would be, it has to do with our infrastructure. You have to figure out why are people getting addicted to drugs in the first place.
So you're talking about like a revolution, kind of.
No, I'm not talking about a revolution. You just have to figure out why would somebody turn to heroin in the first place? If you say, like, you were at first on pharmaceutical opioids, and then you turned to illegal opioids, then maybe...
Well, the pain threshold was never an issue, exactly.
What?
The pain threshold was never the issue, exactly. It's just, the fact of the matter is, they're just handing these things out like candy. You expect people to get hooked on them anyways, and then the pharmaceutical company which manufactures and deals in a lot of the poppies, and a lot of the reason why we're in the Middle East right now is so not only oil, but we can keep a close eye on the Golden Triangle and make sure that they're working for us still. And that's what keeps the pharmaceutical companies in business. They're the thugs, and they take their guns. They have the U.S. Army to back them up. They go in there. They have these farmers working for them, and then they put it in a pill, get everyone addicted.
Yeah, we already know that. It's the same thing as illegal heroin farming. It's just legal heroin farming. That's old news.
What's the deal?
Think about it. There's plenty of people that go to the dentist, get their wisdom teeth pulled out, and they're on Vicodin for a little while.
For example.
So let's just say, and this, I don't even know if the numbers are correct. It might be a little bit low, but let's just say 9 out of 10 people, they, get their wisdom teeth out, they take their Vicodin for a little while, and then they go back on their merry way, and they don't get addicted to opioids.
That's a little high.
What, do you think 8 out of 10?
That's not really the surgery I was speaking of, but,
Like what, okay, then what surgery?
Say if you got Percocets prescribed for you for like 5 months, and you had been on them to the point where you're dependent, you got the constipation, and then all of a sudden, okay, not a big deal, right?
Okay. Yeah, so we can agree short-term use. 9 out of 10 people short-term use for a minor surgery like wisdom teeth.
Oh yeah, that's no big deal. No, that's just Vicodin. Anyone can handle that.
So that means we have to figure out long-term prescriptions for pain medication so people don't get addicted after a major surgery. That's probably where we'd have to figure out, and that would stop a huge.
Even a trickle-down method, like from Percocet down to Vicodin down to Suboxone.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's something that we got to figure out. But all I'm saying is that most people, they finish their surgery, they finish their prescription, then they get back on their way. But that's not for all people.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
For people that do get addicted,
for a short-term thing like that, if you don't have everlasting pain for the rest of your life, then that's fine and dandy.
When it comes down to it, maybe they just got to develop an alternative form of medicine that isn't an opioid.
Oh, then they have. They had something for welders, actually. If you got flash burn, they've got a non-narcotic pain medication. It doesn't affect you. It's not psychotropic in any way. It doesn't affect your outlook on life or your chemical balance too much. It just blocks your nerve signals. And why that's not more readily available? Well, you tell me. Is it because the pharmaceutical companies aren't making as much money off of it?
That's probably why, but you know what? I'm going to change this back to politics and say the pharmaceutical companies are probably shaking in their boots now that Donnie Boy has won the president, because Hillary Clinton, she was bought by pharmaceutical companies.
She was bought by Fetzer, yeah.
So, you know what? Maybe now those other companies with their non-addictive...
You could tell by looking at her she was high.
Yeah, of course. She was on the same shit that she was probably, indirectly prescribing to millions of... Yeah, pushing, exactly. So now maybe that welder medication is going to become more readily available because Donald Trump isn't bought like corrupt Clinton was.
Yeah, and there's also the issue of, well, he doesn't worry about being politically correct. He doesn't care what people perceive him as. He doesn't care if he's an asshole because, well, guess what? That's how he made it where he is today.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and for that reason, I think he's going to be a good president. I mean, I've explained it. Is Geezy even still there? He's been quiet for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here. I'm happy to answer any questions.
This is what I'm saying is I think that despite, all right, you can think Donald Trump's a racist. You can think whatever the hell you want about him. You can completely disagree with his policies, all this and all that. But the fact that he won the presidency against all odds, speaks loads about his character and his leadership abilities. You can't. So, I mean, for a president of the United States...
well, he can't be bought, like you said.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, this guy's a strong leader. So if he uses his powers for good, I think we're in good hands. At the same time, if he uses his powers for bad...
half the world might blow up, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that people are intimidated by his power, but I think his followers think that he has a genuine agenda, and his opponents are equally intimidated by his power and think that he has an evil agenda. And I think that's where the state of our politics are, and that's why people are protesting. Although I don't really agree with the protest, because it's not going to change the results of the election.
Anything, right? Yeah.
So it's just
going to cause a bunch of fighting.
It's like a baby throwing a temper tantrum. It's still your bedtime. You can throw your temper tantrum for 10 minutes, but you're still going to have to go to bed. That's
and in the long run, you're going to end up more tired. Exactly.
So that's what it is. Now, Geezy, what's your question?
What?
What's your
statement?
I have no question.
What's your statement?
What's my statement about what?
Well, didn't you hear what we were talking about for like the last,
5 minutes about Donald Trump?
I mean, what about him?
Weren't you listening?
Yeah, I mean, you guys were just naming off.
We just left off on the protests.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The protests are, it's just...
I think it's ridiculous how...
It's pointless. They should be arrested and go to jail.
Extreme leftists, but then they're the ones going out in the street and causing violence.
Yeah, it's very it's very simple. It's a mute point, and there's nothing to talk about that. It's, they're doing illegal activity. I have nothing wrong with protests. You can protest, peacefully protest. It's our First Amendment. You can go freedom of speech.
Right.
You can do you can do whatever you want. But once you start doing illegal activities, like, that they've shot and killed like 3 people, if not more, by now. Like, they've killed people already. Hillary supporters have shot and killed people already since the happening. And for some, I don't know if the media is talking about it or what. I hope Donnie Boy...
If you want a piece of my smack, you're not going to kick me down?
I hope Donnie Boy just, gets rid of the corporate media And the protests, as long as they're peaceful, I have nothing against it. I mean, anybody could protest about anything. Bottom line is, once it goes illegal, obviously they need to be arrested. And it doesn't seem like, everything is just ass backwards these days. I mean, nothing is getting accomplished. Everything is just not working out. And obviously, we'll see how Donny Boy does.
But one thing that I do have to disagree with you on is I don't think corporations should become illegalized.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You said get rid of corporate media.
Yeah.
Most media is corporate.
CNN, for example, Fox News, it's all corporate.
Well, I mean, those are the major ones. But I mean, like, unless you're running a YouTube channel or show, then chances
the only one that isn't is NPR.
NPR is bought.
NPR is bullshit.
Well, you can just listen to the type
That's corporate.
that they say, man.
This public radio is donated to. It's not bots.
It's bullshit. Yeah, it is. It's bullshit. NPR is bullshit. It's
sponsored by the government.
Yeah, it's nothing, dude. It's useless.
Well,
Flibber. It's flibber flabber. There's no.
Sometimes, if you're trying to find truth in your news about what's going on in America, you can't even look at any of the news outlets that are coming from America. You got to go somewhere else to find your news. You got to look at.
Not necessarily that. You just got to scour everything. You have to scour everything and then come up with your own conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. You have to come up with your own.
I mean, yeah, you're going to get a lot of bullshit from Fox News, CNN, NPR, MSNBC, but that's just the first layer of the cake. Then you just take those headlines, dig deeper and deeper among the smaller outlets and the more independent ones, and then you can kind of paint your own picture in terms of what the reality is. But if you just rely on, the surface level of what you hear from the mainstream media, then you're just going to be eating up the bullshit that they're feeding you.
Yeah.
So... Now, the problem that we have in this country is not capitalism. I think capitalism is a great system that
obviously
sustains itself.
Yeah.
It's
well, capitalism works. Capitalism worked. I was actually comparing him ahead earlier today, Donald Trump to Jay Gatsby of the Great Gatsby novel. Fictitious, but I'm sure you've heard of it.
I've heard of it, and I've never read it, though.
I read it couple months back. It only took me like 3 days. It's a good read. I'd check it out.
How long of a book is it?
It's only like 200 pages.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. 3 days, not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But see, capitalism is, it's kind of like survival of the fittest. If your company sucks, people won't buy from it, you're going to go under. If your company, it's competition. It's healthy competition.
Yeah.
The problem that we have, though, is the crony capitalism, which gives an unfair advantage to,
like the Wall Street conglomerate and other royalty. The Wall Street conglomerate, they own Philip Morris, R.J. Reynolds, half of Europe, just the land rights, and about a third of the United States.
And that's why it's good that Donny Boy is the president, because from what we know, he hasn't taken any of their money, so he doesn't owe them shit. He doesn't owe them any favors.
He hasn't said anything about Philip Morris or any of that, so here's hoping.
So that's the hope that I have with him. With Clinton, shit, we already know that bitch was bought from the
That bitch was bought from the start, dude.
Yeah, and people are on her fucking, labias, bitching about her, thinking that she was like the next. My problem with her, all these Bernie bros, they jumped on her bandwagon after she screwed Bernie over.
After she screwed Bernie over, and Bernie didn't even approve of her. Bernie didn't even like the bitch.
Yeah, but then Bernie kind of.
But then he endorsed her. It's all fake. It's all ridiculous. It all means nothing.
About Bernie and Hillary Clinton and the Bernie bros that went over to Hillary Clinton's campaign was that Hillary Clinton was the exact poster child that Bernie Sanders campaigned against. The exact poster child that Bernie Sanders campaigned against, he then later on endorsed. pathetic. It's pathetic. You know, I had respect for Bernie Sanders up until the point that he endorsed Hillary. All the work and progress
he endorsed
he made,
her? I thought he was against her from the jump.
No, after he lost the primary, after she stole it from him, he then went on to endorse her.
With his tail between his legs like a bitch.
For her. Not only endorsed her, but then he campaigned for her.
What a fucking bitch.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Wow.
And after he endorsed her, then he campaigned for her. So it's like, okay, first you...
Yeah, what? You didn't know that, Dante?
Wow. Bernie, get your balls out of Hillary's purse, why don't you?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's all these Bernie bros that are on his nuts, too. Like, oh, Bernie Sanders, he's my messiah.
No, yeah, that's just pathetic.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. He would have been nice. He would have been good.
No, he wouldn't have been. No, he wouldn't have been. You know,
Well, we don't know now. There's no way to find out.
Well, just based on he was a socialist.
Dude, he's a socialist, dude. The last thing we need is socialism. Socialism does not work.
If he ran on a different political campaign, like if he didn't say he was socialist, he could have got a lot of things done.
But that's why people liked him.
Oh,
If he ran on a different campaign, then people wouldn't have liked him. It's not like they liked the way he looked, so it didn't matter what he said.
He looked like a troll doll that had aged 50 years in the last 5 minutes.
That's right. But I just want to say, I think America, you know, the Founding Fathers, those are the most uncorrupt, purest motherfuckers that every American should be looking up to. Like, that should be their idols. Because those guys were the ultimate anti-establishment, power to the people, freedom thinkers, you know?
And they fought for what they believed. They fought for what they believed, and they worked hard to make what was their own, and keep it that way.
Yeah, keep it for the people,
keep it out of the hands of the government. Yep.
And that's what we all have in common as Americans. And people, they should just do in school a whole between pretty much, you know, kindergarten to high school. They should teach you about, like, a different founding father each year, you know?
Each year? Every day?
Yeah, I'm saying it's like a class, like, you know...
Maybe per semester.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying is, you know, the constitutions and the values of forefathers should be hammered into every American student to reinforce that we own the government. Our government was born out of an anti-establishment revolution, and the power belongs to us, the people, not the government.
It's become rather tyrannical in past decades, especially with the Federal Reserve.
People have short memory, and politicians take advantage of that.
Yep. They just throw scare tactics out there.
If everybody was pretty much a Harvard lawyer on our Constitution and a historian on our forefathers, the birth of our country, and all the principles it was started on, then, you know, there would be no issues in this country, because all of our conflicts would be dealt in a democratic way.
Had already been resolved hundreds of years ago.
That document is close to flawless. That's why our government has been around. We have one of the longest modern countries in existence.
And every other country has had military coups since.
Yeah, Germany, France. Man, I mean, I don't know how long the government of England has been around. They've been around. That's like one of the only other countries that have been around for a really long time.
I'm going over here, what?
But, yeah, the fact is the Constitution was so well written and so executable that, you know, it's provided such a great foundation. That's why our country has, you know, been so powerful and has existed.
I fucking knew that junkie was going to try to rip me off.
Well, anyway, that was my spiel. What's left on the agenda for the night?
Huh?
I said that was my spiel, so what's left on the agenda for the night?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think that's good, man. I just wanted to, you know...
My headset's only at like 5%, so that's that's about what I can handle.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to say, the Geezy Truth News Jubilee special of Donnie Boy winning. I just wanted to thank all my fans and, thank everybody. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on the show, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for calling.
I look forward to next week.
Yes, of course. Thank you. You have a great night.
Wait, all right. But the issue is, all right, what has the show been about tonight?
Well, quick summary. It's been about pharmaceutical companies, Donnie Boy winning. There's been a lot of actual back and forth discussion about the drug epidemic and the war on drugs, and basically the cumulative overview is just anti-establishmentism and the fact that our rights are all being treaded on by a government that was founded on "Don't tread on me."
Well, great. That sounds great to me. So is that it?
Yep.
That's about right. I mean, shit.
Another one for the books.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Gentlemen. Take care.
Well,
have a great evening.
4L.
Oh yeah, take care out there, Ari.
Yeah, and you too, Dante. Do you know what P&P for L is?
What?
P and T for L.
No.
Think about it.
Wait, TNT for L?
No, P and T for L. It's an acronym.
PNP for L?
Yeah.
Power and pussy for life?
Almost.
What was it?
Think more green.
Hot and pussy for life?
That's right. That's not a question.
All right, gentlemen. All right.
I think we're on the same wavelength, though. Hell yeah, bro. Take care, you guys.
All right, take care. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
All right. Well, that concludes the show. Thank you very much. Arturo, are you still there? All right, sounds good. Well, thank you very much. I believe that concludes the Geezy Truth News Jubilee Special. We're going to have to keep on pushing and keep on talking about all the news in the world, and we'll get back to basics next week. Tune in next Friday, 6 p.m. And yeah, I think we did good. 1 point for the good guys. We'll see, everybody. Keep your eyes peeled. Stay educated. Stay hungry. And stay happy. All right. Geezy Truth News is out. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everybody.